Hi, hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Bethany. This is a space where I talk about my knits and any other bits that I feel like. So welcome to another episode. This is a project update video because it's been about 4 weeks since my last one, and stuff has gotten done. And I want to talk about it. First of all, though, before we get started, I want to wish everyone a very happy Pride. I'm recording this right at the beginning of June, so Pride Month has just started. So happy Pride, everybody. I hope that you're going to get to celebrate in whatever way that you wish to, and I hope you get to do some making as part of that. If not, that's cool too, but I just think it's, it fits right in to be a maker and to celebrate Pride. I'm gonna get right into it because I have actually finished some objects, and of course off the top we always talk about what I'm wearing. In this case it's one and the same. This tank top that I'm wearing is the Iris top by Andrea Gone, and I really got a fire lit under me. I believe I talked about it as a work in progress or what's next. I'll have to refer to my notes in my previous episode, and it is now a finished object. I'm also gonna scooch one way or the other so that I can pop up some video. Earlier today I took some video of me basically styling this tank top because I was really excited to finish it and wear it. Also, the thing that lit the fire under me to really work on this and get it done was thanks to two people. First was Jack in the Attic. Highly recommend her channel. For as much as I knit in color, Jack, no K, Jack in the Attic, knits almost exclusively in black and sort of swampy green, which is very cool. Her aesthetic is great. She also talks about a lot of different projects that I personally hadn't heard of, mostly because she both knits and crochets. My crochet is not a strong skill for me, so it's always interesting to see. Anyway, all that to say, I follow her on Instagram, and she shared that Jackass Collective, which is Jordan here on YouTube. Well, their name's Jordan, and but their Instagram handle and YouTube handle is Jackass Collective. Anyway, Jordan was running a titty top make-along for the month of May because, it's warming up and you gotta have some summer knits, right? And Jordan was knitting I believe the Ripple Bralette by Jessie May. I have knit that. Mixed results for myself, so maybe I'll talk about that in a future summer knits, maybe pattern roundup or something similar. Anyway, as soon as I saw that Jack in the Attic was participating in Jordan's make-along, I was like, I had cast this on already, and I was like, well, there's the motivation, right? Have it be a goal to knit it and be finished by the end of May. I was finished pretty much middle of May because that's just how it worked. I'm sort of going to talk you through the video that I'm going to pop up one side or the other, just about how I styled it, because I'm definitely a mid to high-waisted jeans person these days, and so that's really what I pictured this top with for the most part. So the first little clip that you're going to see is me wearing my very cool, I have to say, sort of acid wash type black jeans that I love. They've now been mended twice because I wear them so much, and I think it looks really cute. I'm glad that I did knit this to pattern, and I should backtrack. Gosh, I'm all over the place. First of all, the yarn. This is loose from Good Grief Yarn and Provisions in Toronto. This is one of their in-house bases and in-house colors, because Mariah dyes a line of yarn for the store, and this was in the color lavender, and I really, really love it. On camera, I think I look maybe a little washed out, but the color in real life is a little more saturated, and maybe my clips will show it a little bit better, because I had better lighting. Yeah, so I knit this right to pattern, and I knit size 3, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, I'll put a little note in here that I did or didn't knit size 3, but generally I knit size 3 in a lot of patterns. And of course, because it's ribbed, it does have negative ease. And I think I ended up with just the right amount of negative ease, and I knit it to the right length. I do think now that I'm thinking about it, I think I perhaps did a little bit extra on the body. Really happy I did that, because I didn't want it too cropped. That doesn't really suit, even though I wear a lot of high-waisted things, that doesn't really suit my style or my comfort level. Some things I am able to wear really, really cropped and be cool with it, but I did want to have this as a layering piece to be able to wear to work, and I figured if it was too cropped, not good for my workplace, right? It wouldn't matter how I tried to style it. Oh, and if you hear some click-clacking, yeah, hi. So I'll put in some footage down here. We are dog sitting my in-law's dog. His name is Urkel. He's very sweet. And now that I've started talking, he's very interested in what I'm doing. So he may or may not stick around. So if you hear some click-clacking, it's just Urkel the Wonder Dog. Oh no, he's left. He's not interested. That's fine. I think he just needed to make sure that I was okay. And I'm fine. We're just here. We're just chatting. Okay, where was I talking about this? Oh yes, styling this. So first clip is just me in my black jeans, and I think it's really cute. You can see me do a tiny little French tuck forever. And I think it's real cute. Second clip is me wearing my most high-waisted jeans, which was the other pair of jeans that I really pictured this with. And I think it looks really cute. Instead of just French tucking it, I tucked it all the way because I think that looks really cute. And I really like how this looks as well. And I think it's really cute. Most likely the kind of thing that I would wear to work, plus something over top, something light over top, just to cover my shoulders, because it is air conditioned at my work, and depending on where you are in the building, it can be really cold. So last clip is me wearing it with a skirt, a high-waisted skirt, and I actually had to really narrow down my choices because I have a lot of skirts that I can wear at my high waist, and have it look really cute. And I was like, well, I'm not gonna film myself wearing this with every single skirt I own. So I chose this sort of leopard print, and it's kind of a button wrap skirt, and I think it looks really sweet. To me, this is very date night for me. Again, with something just to throw on over my shoulders so I don't get too cold. Overall, I really like the fit of this. I was concerned for a while knitting it whether I had chosen the right size. I wasn't worried about it being too small. I was actually worried that maybe my gauge was a little off and that it would end up being like a little gapey around the armhole or the neck, but it ended up being just fine after blocking. So I'm really, really pleased with that. Yeah. So that is my very first finished object, and I feel like I waffled for a really long time about that, but it is the object that I'm sort of proudest to have gotten done, thanks to Jack in the Attic and Jordan of Jackass Collective for the Titty Top make along. It also has me really going on summer knits, specifically sleeveless summer knits, because I talked about my Alice T in the last episode, and now I'm just like, you know what, we need more things with no sleeves, so I'll maybe talk about that a little bit more in my what's next section. One more finished object, and it is my spell shawl. When I talked about this last time, I was probably literally just here. I know I was working in the green section of this, and this is made out of Shirley Bryan Yarn's deconstructed fade sock set, and I've held it double together so that I'm getting close to a DK gauge on that, because that is what the pattern gauge is. So you can sort of see here, it turned out a little small just because there wasn't a ton of yardage in a sock set, particularly being held double, but I really like how it looks. This colorway is called Leaf Peepers, and it's very autumnal, right? Going from sort of a vibrant green into golden brown, and then into this dark burgundy magenta situation. I think it's really cute. TBD whether I will keep it for myself or whether it will end up being a gift for someone else. We'll see. We'll see whether I end up wearing it. But it's really cute, and I do like. See, that's cute. That's cute. I wouldn't wear it folded, obviously. But yeah, it sort of does the shawlette situation where there's enough length on it to wrap around. Not quite enough to be like a shoulder wrap, but keep your neck warm at least. So I'm really pleased that is also done. That was a lovely television movie knit for the last month. All right, friends, take a hydration break. Also, hang on to your water, because guess who I'm going to talk about in Works in Progress. Okay, I'll start right off so that you can take another drink of water without, being too interrupted and whatever. So I cast on another pair of socks, and aren't they cute? So I had leftovers from my bright stripy socks that I talked about, I forget how many episodes ago. Not that many, obviously, because I haven't posted that many episodes. But I really wanted to see if I could get a shorty set out of the remains from those full-length socks. Turns out I can. So I've got a half-finished object to talk about first off. So here we go. Let me just bring it up like this and get it centered. That's pretty good. So I am just using the numbers off of Summer Lee's Weekend Shorty sock pattern. Obviously, I don't need to do any blocking myself because I'm using a self-striping yarn that I have talked about previously. I'll link it down in the description. So I split my remains in half and weighed it out to make sure that it was as even as possible. And then I just grabbed some, that's pretty good. I just grabbed some also leftover purple yarn to use as my cuff and my heel. And I've got enough that I figured if I ran out of the self-striping before the toe, no problem, make a purple toe. But for this one, I ended up just making it to be able to finish my toe, and you can sort of see there the very last stripe I ended up doing my graft with. And I am on to the second sock, and oh gosh, I'm a little tangled. Here we go. So I have just turned the heel, so it's sort of not much to look at. And as you can tell, they don't match. And it's okay, because I am trying to use up just every little bit. Like, they're going to be close, but not exactly. And I'm cool with them not matching, because I just want to use up as much of this as I possibly can, because I love self-striping yarn, and why not use up every little bit that you possibly can. So there's your Summer Lee mention for this episode. Okay, next thing is, if I had just worked on this just a little bit more, I would have been showing you 3 finished objects. This head sock hat that I mentioned in my previous episode is so close to being done. Like, I'm to the point on the decreases where I need to take it off my circular needle and put it on double points because I'm really stretching the stitches as I go around. But yeah, so close to being done this guy, and that'll be fantastic. It will most likely go into my stash of stuff for charity knitting, unless I feel like keeping it because it is my favorite color. But we'll see whether I feel like keeping it and wearing it. But yeah, this is a very nearly finished object. I imagine, it'll be done this week with a little bit of TV and or movie watching in the evening. So that is very, very nearly done. So close. So close. Okay. Last also half finished object, and when I explain you'll understand why. This was entirely impulsive because, of course, as I do, I might have mentioned in a previous episode that my day job is that I work at a library, and of course, you look at the new books that come in, and let's see if I'll put it over here if I can just turn it right. Do you like my bookmark? It's just a strand of leftover yarn because I'm cool like that. So I was looking at the new nonfiction books that had come in recently to the library, and this showed up, and I was just like, well, that's neat, because I had seen folks that I follow on Instagram sharing reels of Joan Ho's patterns that were coming out, and I didn't realize that it was coming out as a printed book. I had missed that somehow in the sharing of people sharing reels and stuff like that. So I had a gander at it, and I thought, first of all, so much stuff in this is so cute. Not necessarily my personal style, but so cute for summer. Like, if you are a person who lives in a warm climate, and, really wants to up your, as she says, light and breezy knitwear, game, this is a great book, I think. I think there are a lot of designs in it that one would want to make. Granted, she does, just looking at the yarn that's used for the samples, she does use, what I thought was a surprising amount of wool-based, rather than plant-based yarns. Totally fine. You can knit it in whatever you want. But I was just thinking about, my own stuff. And like, for instance, this tank top is a 50-50 blend of cotton and merino. And that's probably as full of wool content as I would want an actual summer knit, not just a layering piece, to actually be. But definitely I would lean more towards like using full plant-based, or at least way more breathable. You know how wool gets prickly when you get hot and sweaty. It's never a fun time. So all that to say, I was having a look through this book, and I'll just show you the one that I'm knitting. So I am knitting the Hollyberry tee, and I'll just hold this up this way. Let's hope that I'm going I am not going the right direction. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Move my fingers out of the way. So this is the tee. I'll also just pop a picture up so that I don't have to constantly keep holding the book up for you to see. But you can see here that it is a very open, very lacy tee. And of course, being fully influenced by Jordan and the Titty Top Make Along, I had finished this one when I discovered that book, and I was like, I could use a lacy t-shirt. That sounds fun. And luckily, I immediately when I saw that tee design, I had a stash yarn in mind, and it is. I'll show you the yarn first. Of course, there we go. It's in a sort of ball cake situation, but let's see if I can hold it up properly. So it's from Lang Yarns, rather. Yes, Lang Yarns. And it's Quattro, and then it's very fancy Degrade. And my French is terrible. Anyone who knows me will know that my brain did not retain anything from grade 9 French, and my accent is awful. So I apologize. But also when they do stuff like this, I'm like, well, how am I supposed to say it? How do the accent work? I know that they work. I just don't know how they work. Anyway, I will also pop a picture of, the reason this is a half-finished object is that you knit the body in 2 pieces and then you're going to seam. Not my favorite, I will fully admit that, but I also think that for the kind of tee that it is, it makes the most sense. I would not enjoy knitting this particular pattern in the round. I'll just say that. So I'll pop a picture up because side 1 is blocking as we speak. And I am a very good way through side 2. And I'll just hold it up. So technically you cast on at the top. Like this is where your neck is going to be, because you're basically just knitting the body all the way across, including the sleeves, right? So just hold it up here so that you can sort of see, and you can see that this is a beautiful like gradient situation. And the picture that I pop up will show it better, because the first half used quite a lot of the first ball that I'm working from. Not all of it, but very much of it. And because I had 2 balls, I thought, let's try and make it match as close as possible. So that's why I broke into the second ball and, started with the same color and am moving my way down through the same gradient, which was lucky. I was kind of worried that maybe the second ball would be a slightly different gradient, but for the most part, it looks like it's exactly the same. So this was an entirely impulsive summer cast on, but I'm really enjoying it. I won't lie, when I was working on side 1, I did have to fully rip out because at one point the lace just started to look wrong. Like, to me, it looked wrong to my eye because I knew I was doing it correctly because I am using a row counter for every row, because for my brain or my eyes, it's not easy for me to see like where I am in this pattern. It is not obvious to me. It is not intuitive. It might be intuitive for other folks, but not for my brain. But at one point when I was working on side 1, it started to look really wrong. I did have the right number of stitches across, because now the stitch count does change from row to row, and she tells you that in the pattern notes, which is very handy because for someone like me who would like not necessarily skip over those pattern notes, but like maybe not fully read that initially because I just want to get to like casting on, that would freak me out, right? I would think I was doing it wrong, or that I'd done something, I'd made a mistake, what have you. So it's very handy that she has it like right there in the pattern to tell you, be like, hey, P.S. First of all, your stitch count is going to change between these rows and these rows. Don't panic. Also, B, your right side row is going to change every time you do the pattern repeat. Also very helpful. I have still put a stitch marker on just to keep track of what is actually meant to be the right side, mostly for when I go to sew these together. So yeah, that is going very well. Blocks out wildly because I am about halfway-ish, nearly halfway through the number of pattern repeats that I have to do, and it doesn't look like much, right? Like that just looks like that's not a shirt, right? It's barely covering my chest, right? But because the makeup of this yarn is, oh my gosh, if I can find it. Yes, it is a 100% cotton. So, I mean, it doesn't seem like it would grow necessarily, but it did. It did grow, and I think that's not down to the content of the yarn, but it is down to this lace pattern, right? Once you put water in there, like it stretches open like a lot. So that was a little concerning because I was like, oh God, what if it's not long enough? what if I end up with an unintentional crop or a weird length that is neither crop nor like high hip or something? It's just somewhere weird in the middle. That is not very wearable. But it seems like it's going to be okay. TBD, truly, because we won't know until the garment is actually put together. But yeah, so I will finish knitting this side, and then there's seaming to do at the shoulders and sides, and then you do pick up and you put a little bit of a sleeve edge on your sleeves, just so that it looks more finished, I think. And I really like that detail, because it could be so easy to just say, oh, seam the shoulders and seam the sides and you're done. Which would have its own kind of interesting look. But I do appreciate that she went to the trouble of including instructions for finishing the sleeve edge, because I think that will make it really nice and make the most use of the yarn that I am using. Okay, that is it for works in progress, and or half-finished objects, whichever you'd like to call that segment this time around, because, you know, nearly finished and half finished, you know. So let's move on to talk about what's next, because I seem to still have a trend of be like, I'm gonna knit this thing next, and then I end up doing something kind of impulsive. Who knows if that trend is going to continue? We're going to find out. But let's talk about what I still have planned for what's next. For those keeping track at home, I am still working on the yellow cardigan. I feel like it should be like yellow cardigan TM at this point, kind of. I am still swatching for that, but I now think I'm as close as I'm going to be with being happy with, you know, thinner yarn on bigger gauge needles, and be happy with the blocked fabric. And that gauge that I'm getting on that blocked swatch, I think will fit in really well with the Ochre Cardigan by Amba O'Brien. I also really just like the look of this cardigan, and it's been in my favorites for a while, even before I got the yellow yarn. It's also super helpful that one of her samples is in sort of a mustard yellow. Not quite as bright as mine, but it does give a feel for what a yellow cardigan in that pattern would look like. So we'll see if that actually gets cast on anytime soon, but that is up there in the queue. I'm also, I've still got the Mender's cardigan on my what's next list with the less traveled DK weight yarn. Still really looking forward to that. I do think that while I might not wear a short sleeve wool cardigan in like this summer, because if it continues to get warm, get hot, I won't be wearing it unless I decide to wear it to work where there's air conditioning, which could happen. So it depends on whether I get cardiganed out, right? Because if I do cast on the Ochre cardigan, I'm not sure I'm going to want two. I don't think I want two cardigans on the go at the same time. I say that, and I've done that before, right? Because for one thing, 2 different weights, 2 different needle sizes. So like, who knows? I could end up being just drowning in cardigans. The other pattern that I will mention as a possible what's next is something called the, I hope I'm saying it right, the Teo linear top by, oh gosh, by Cheyenne, not sure, price white. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and basically it's just a it's like it's a theme. It's 2 rectangles sewn together. But instead of going this way, the long way for the rectangle, it's going across, and you're basically just knitting sleeves, and then the top itself, hopefully if you've knit it long enough and blocked it out enough, will like have the neckline up here, and it will go just over the bust, and sort of be like a like, you know, kind of crop sleevey situation. I just think they look really cute and seem like a cool thing to like pop on when you're out and about and you're like, you know what, I need sleeves because my shoulders and or arms are kind of cold. Also would look cute over top of either a strapless dress or a dress like a sleeveless dress or a jumpsuit or something like that. And I just think it's cool and like kind of hippie. I don't know. I just think they look really cool, and the samples that are in the Ravelry projects are really cute, and honestly a really great excuse to use up if you've got about 800 yards of fingering weight yarn. Would be really cute to use it up, because like I feel like the front and the back wouldn't have to match, right? So if you've got like some variegated stuff, that could be a really cool way to use that up, and it wouldn't matter if the front and the back matched. So that's definitely up there in my queue as well. That is all I have for you today. I felt like I kind of rambled but also sped through that, so apologies. Apparently YouTube does have the ability for you to like slow me down if I'm going too quickly. Probably should have mentioned that at the beginning, but it only occurs to me now after I've gone through and recorded this. So if that's necessary, please like slow me down. I will not be offended. I also won't know if you do it. So if I speak too fast for you, no worries. YouTube has you covered. You can slow me down so that I'm not speeding through things quite so badly. That being said, thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for being here once again. I hope that wherever you are feeling safe, you are having a good time, that you are enjoying some sunshine, hopefully wherever you are. And if it's raining, I hope that you're getting some making done. And once again, happy Pride, everybody. And until I see you next time, keep those stitches moving.